I'm okay. I can rest. And
You better stop talking like this. There's a camera in front of us right now. Don't be talking to me like that.
Hi, this is Zap, and welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast.
welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast. I am your host, Zap, and with me, as always, is my co-host.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy TJ.
Today we're gonna take it way back.
Way back?
Mm-hmm.
How far back?
As far as like June 29, 2023, very specific date, by the way.
Yeah, very specific.
You know why?
That is very specific. Why that day?
Because that was exactly about a year ago, perhaps. Probably a year or 2 years. I'm really bad at math. Okay.
Yeah, it's about a year.
Fun fact.
About a year and some change.
But on that day, we recorded one of the most important episodes, I consider, in my own personal opinion.
Okay, and what episode was this?
We're piggybacking to an episode that is titled Just Take a Chance from season 1.
Oh, okay. I remember that episode.
Good old season 1. We were just starting a brand new podcast called the Reset and Zap podcast. And if you're tuning in right now to listen to it, thank you so much. Because here at the Reset and Zap podcast is all about resetting and being in the right mindset.
For what?
For a brand new week. And we talk about what things? What sort of things we talk about?
We talk about gaming.
Gaming, yeah.
We talk about life.
Yeah.
We talk about
Parenthood,
yeah.
work-life balance,
Haters,
yeah. Social media,
yeah.
yeah, much more. We talk a little bit of everything. So thank you so much for tuning. And as you listen to this episode, I want to give you a friendly reminder that you can go in to any platform where you listen to the podcast, and don't forget to drop your ratings and drop your reviews, because it helps us a lot. We read those reviews to tweak the podcast, make it entertaining to you guys, but also streamline it where it's easier for us to reproduce.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what we talked about when we recorded the episode? Just take a chance.
Yes.
You
Yes, I
wanna
do.
share a little summary of what stood out to you the most?
Summary, or are we going into it?
No, like a little summary. We're not gonna give it all
Well, I
away.
remember one of the things I remember about the episode the most is that I talked about how I took a chance in moving to Texas from Virginia.
Okay.
So yeah, that means it's definitely that's been about 2 years then.
Yeah,
It's been about 2 years then, because I moved here about 2 years ago.
that's crazy.
So it was at least somewhere between one and a half to 2 years when we recorded that episode then. Yeah. Because I had
Interesting.
talked about how I had, took a chance in moving to Texas to be with you. And that's what I remember about that episode.
For me, it was about finally opening up to the audience and to our community and sharing like some special behind the scene information that I had never shared before on camera.
Okay.
And it was specifically like going back all the way to 2017 when we got hit by Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, and how that transitioned into me coming to Texas and just starting all over again. So that was my definition of taking a chance.
Okay.
Which sounds really similar to yours in a way, because
Yes.
we both had to leave our homelands and come to a new place to start all over again.
Basically, yeah.
So I want you guys that are listening and watching this, because I want to remind you that finally here on Spotify.
Here on Spotify.
Yeah, for those that are listening on
So
Spotify
If you're listening.
Yeah.
Or watching.
We just updated everything. And we now have available videos on Spotify that you can now watch. You can watch our beautiful faces.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Her beautiful face. I don't know about mine.
You can connect the face to the voice. Yeah, so check it out. It's pretty cool. We got videos available for season 1, season 2, and season 3. And as you're listening to it, comment below what has been one thing you've done where you had to take a chance, because that's what we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
Are you ready?
You also forgot to mention the fact that, I don't know if we talked about this on the previous episode, but the fact that we're in partnership with Spotify now.
Yes, I forgot. Completely forgot. I'm too excited. I'm excited, y'all. Do you mind sharing?
Well, we are now part of Spotify's very first creators program, We are now in full partnership with Spotify. We're part of their creator program, which means this podcast is now monetized.
Yes,
So you may have noticed on certain platforms you're getting a little commercial here and there. That's
Help
because we are
support.
now officially partnered with Spotify in their monetization program. So that is why you may get a commercial here or there in some of these episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think the videos are part of now being.
The videos are part of that too. If you are a Spotify member, if you have a membership through Spotify, then you get access to those videos at no additional cost.
Yeah. So yeah.
If you are a Spotify user and you watch and you listen to our podcast, you can now watch it on Spotify as well.
So we're just
you have that option. So shout out to
leveling.
Spotify,
Yeah.
who are now our podcast partners.
Yeah. We're leveling up your listening experience. So check it out. We've put a lot of work and love into it, and we hope that you enjoy the end results. So are you ready to?
So can I do it now?
Yeah,
I can
go
do it
ahead.
now?
You can do it.
For real?
Yeah.
Seriously? You're not joking? I can do
Take it easy, breathe.
Take it easy.
It's all right.
Boom.
Boom. I really thought I could beat you. Oh, God.
Never.
It is time to do a reset. Ready? Ready?
I just need a reset. Reset.
All right, that's enough. So part of taking a chance, guys, is understanding sometimes how you truly feel. And I have a beautiful image that I found not too long ago that I wanted to read out loud and see what you think.
Okay.
Because this hit home, at least for me.
All right. Let's see what you got.
So I can't even pronounce his name. Sahil Avingia had posted this on back when X was called Twitter. You know, remember those days?
Yeah.
And he wrote the following. He said, "Don't think you deserve the job? Apply for it anyways. Don't think your article is good enough? Publish it anyways. Don't think they'll reply to your email? Send it anyways. Don't self-reject." So when I read this image, it reminded me of the importance of finding yourself and putting yourself out there, because that is also a way of just taking a chance.
Yeah, I would agree. You have to believe in yourself when others don't. Even when you don't believe in yourself, you got to believe in yourself. Like nobody. What I've always said is you can't really count on anybody but yourself, really. Like, no, you can't expect anybody else to follow your dream for you. You can't expect anybody else to care about your project as much as you do. Like, it's just the way that it is, you know? So if you don't believe in yourself enough to even make the first move, then you're like, how are you ever? It kind of goes back to the thing that I always say about as long as you're making a step forward, you're always going forward.
Yeah.
But it's like in this case, if you never make a step forward, then you're never going to get to your destination. If you just standing still, then your goal just progressively gets further and further away. Like you can't, it's almost like you're going in reverse. So yeah, I definitely, I like that statement. It's pretty clean. I like that.
It's
like,
pretty clean indeed.
like, even if you don't think you deserve it, do it anyway. Even if you don't think you can have it, do it anyway. Because I mean, since we're talking about the previous episode anyway,
Okay.
like who would have thought that, me, little old TJ from Virginia, some small town,
VA?
from some small town in VA, would be able to be sitting here across from one of the most beautiful women in the world,
Oh my God.
doing a podcast. And also got married to that beautiful woman and had a baby with him.
You had a baby?
Yeah.
Dang.
Who would have thought that was possible?
Man, talk about back in the future.
But it was possible because I believed in myself and I believed in my heart what I deserved. And I believe I deserved to be happy. So,
Well, I'm going to do something you're not expecting for me to do today.
I'm not expecting anything because I don't know anything. So let's go.
We never planned these out, guys. He does not know what I'm about to talk
I
about.
purposely tell her, don't tell me anything about what we're going to talk about.
So I'm going to flip the question.
Oh, flippity dippity. Okay.
And instead of talking or piggybacking to the continuation of our conversation of just taking a chance,
Okay.
I wanted to ask you from 2 years later, was it worth taking a chance?
Oh, that's easy.
I want to take this discussion into
Okay.
a more of a self-reflection of going back to our first episode and what we
Okay.
talked about, kind of like a time capsule.
Okay.
And now in present time, how do we feel about the decisions we made?
I mean, that's easy for me because
Oh, go ahead, start it.
obviously that decision was worth it to me because moving to Texas has improved every area of my life. Like musically, I feel like I've become more creative musically since I've been here. Of course, I found the love of my life. So, I mean, that's an obvious win right there. Ended up starting a family. Obvious win. Ended up getting one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life. So, yeah, my pay has increased. I've been able to live in places I thought I'd never live or see places I thought I'd never see. I got to go to the video game museum and I've got to go to the George Bush
Oh, the
Memorial? The presidential memorial or
Yeah.
whatever. I got to go check that out. I got to see some really cool sights all over Texas so far because I took a chance. So was it worth it? Obviously, because I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm more creative than I've ever been. I'm more financially stable than I've ever been. So I would go back to what I said before in that episode when I said, just take a chance. Yeah, do it. Trust me.
You feel like I've been meaning to ask you this.
Go for it.
You feel like it has also helped you, because you mentioned it, how it's helped you become more creative. So creatively, how much have you changed since you've taken that chance of coming to Texas?
A lot. I feel like I've just improved, Like, well, just from the basic, like, obvious standpoint, like, one of the things I say that's changed the most is my video quality.
Oh, okay.
Like, because being with somebody like you, it's like I learned more about video editing and color correcting and ISOs and all that kind of stuff. All that crazy stuff you be talking about. I got to learn all that stuff. So now I can make better quality videos and I can edit better and I can record better and, so obvious stuff like that. But then there's the not so obvious thing about subject matter. Some people may not notice, but the subject matter of my music has changed quite a bit from then to now. Where now is more internal and more reflective on where my current state of life is. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about being a father and about being a husband and about being a music artist. And instead of just, back before that, I was talking about more, depression. And I was talking more about, like dealing with, hardships in life and overcoming adversities and all that. Like you can tell that my subject matter has changed quite a bit from there to now.
Okay.
And just what, and the things that I'm able to talk about, what I'm saying? Like certain things that I, because I only like to talk about things if they're realistic in my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to talk about things that I'm not aware of. So like now I can, like I said, now I can talk about being a father because I am a father. I can talk about being a husband because I am a husband. You know what I'm saying? I can talk about being a music artist because I am a music artist. So in those ways, I've also changed as well. And lastly, the way I think I've changed is I've just gotten when you're in a place of peace of mind and you're happy with your life and, you're not, running around like a chicken with his head cut off type deal.
I have not heard that phrase in a
Yeah,
minute.
I'm old. Just so y'all know, I'm 40 years old, okay? I'm old.
Ooh, welcome to the 40 Club.
Yeah, I'm old. You'll get there one day, young
One
thing.
day.
Young thing.
One day.
You got a couple more years ahead.
I got a
of you,
couple
but-
more steps.
Yeah. But
Let me enjoy my 30s, okay?
you'll be here before you know it. But yeah, it's just that I've gotten, when you're in a place of peace and peace of mind and you're happy with your life and those kind of things, you just naturally become more creative. You know what I'm saying? You have more time to create. I have more time to sit down and think about what my life is and what I want to write about and what I want to talk about and all that kind of things. And it's just ever since I've been here, Master Sword Music and my Master Sword Music life, my personal life, my love life, like I said, my life has improved in every single area. So it's like, would I suggest to other people that they should take a chance on their dreams? Yeah, I think you should, because it definitely paid out for me. And it may not work out immediately. It may take you a couple tries before you get to where you want to be. But hey, I've made plenty of mistakes. This is probably reset number 4 or 5 for me. But eventually I found the path I wanted to go on. So in the end, was it all worth it? I would say 100% without a doubt, because without the pain, without the mistakes, without the learning process, I wouldn't end up where I am now, where I am. I'm just great. Just great.
Piggybacking to that episode, I remember when we created the podcast, it was a pivoting moment in my life, because reset and zap is not just a nice, phrase that I wanted to choose just because it sounds cool for a podcast show. It really was me committing to myself and making a promise to myself of you're gonna stop the self-rejection. You're going to sit down, you're going to take a chance, you're going to reset, and you're going to reset for real.
All right.
And I wanted the podcast to be a way of documenting that progress and the journey of me resetting to being to where I am right now. And it's fascinating to go back to season 1 and revisit season 2 and see and re-listen to all these discussions we've had to where I am right now, because it's basically a diary.
Basically, the podcast is to you what music is to me.
Yeah, pretty much. And when I sat down a couple of days ago, because this is probably the second or third time I've listened to this episode of Just Take a Chance, and I sat down and listened to it yesterday, I was like, wow, we've grown so much. We've learned so much. We've changed so much. I can say, you always keep saying that. That's a discussion we're gonna have for another episode, probably in season 4, guys, about our health journey. Because
that would be a good episode.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely.
Oh, that would be good. Talk about how much weight we lost and how we've.
You can finally talk about.
I could talk about how fat we used to be.
You can finally talk about it. So expect it for season 4.
Right. I gotta hold off on the fat conversation for now, but we used to be fat. Anyway, continue.
But I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud of where I am right now in 2 years, because taking a chance was a very scary step for me back in 2022 and 2023, and doing a hard reset in all areas in my life. So right now I'm pretty happy, because I have to say I've matured emotionally. I have healed, getting out of so many toxic relationships that weren't benefiting me in the past, and also getting out of my own mind, my own mental prison, because I have to say that sometimes your worst enemy can be yourself.
Agreed.
And I've been able to overcome the bad habit of being an overthinker, of self-rejection, self-doubt, and pretty much putting into the universe, pouring into the universe that everything that I deserve and why I deserve it, because I do deserve it. So just changing that my mindset and the way I talk to myself as well, has really changed over time. I feel like I'm more at peace. I'm not talking constantly negative to myself. I'm believing I'm being more of a risk taker. Just to kind of paraphrase, because we're gonna be here for an hour, but being able to heal.
We're gonna be here for an hour anyway. That's usually how long.
But being able to grow and mature and change has evolved into not being afraid of making decisions, changing careers, changing my video format, changing the content I deliver, changing the way I deliver myself to the public. The way I interact with people nowadays on social media is very different to how I used to interact with people in the past. So it's even the minor and little things, the way I now take the time to spend more time with my family, spend more time with my children, enjoy what it's like being a mom, and also enjoy the woman I have become now in my 30s. It's so different. And if somebody were to ask me, would you go back in time Do you miss, being a teenager? Do you miss your 20s? I will have to say, no, I don't. I feel like my 30s are my new 20s because I am enjoying it so much more, and I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. So I will say, yes, it was worth taking a chance.
Yeah, 100%. And piggybacking on what you just said about, it's, how do I put this? Like when you take that chance and you get the results that you're looking for, and you're finally like, it's what you were describing earlier is basically it's just called growth. It's called adulthood. You've grown up, your priorities have changed, so you've shifted things. Like, what we needed before isn't what we need now.
Yeah.
And you can't be afraid of that growth and that change. Like, you have to, like me, the happiest thing, the funnest thing for me is when I have something new to present or something to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like when I recently updated all of my graphic stuff for Masters for Music, like all my logos have a new background, my new, wallpaper photo and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My intros and outros are all changed now. And it's just like, that's really fun, having something new to bring and show people like, hey, like after all this time, we've got something new. So like, even though most people, I would say, are probably afraid of change, I kind of like embrace it,
Mm-hmm.
Change gives you a new ability to reinvent yourself, to try something new, to really discover who you really are as a person. Because to know what you really are as a person, you have to know what you are not.
Oof,
I think
yeah.
the easiest way to figure out who you are is to figure out what you're not. And to figure out the way of what you're not is you have to try different things, You try something new, you don't like it, okay, well, I'm obviously not that because I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And once process of elimination, you find out all the things you are not, then in essence, you find out what you are.
Yeah.
So I feel like change is the only way we can really grow and get to know who we are as a person and as people. So whereas everybody is so afraid of change, I think we should be doing more to embrace it. Like,
Yeah.
embrace that change. That way you can really learn who you are. Because when you try something new, like, I never would have thought that I would be into doing a podcast. Like, at first, I've watched several podcasts, and I was like, I like podcasts. I don't think I would ever do one, but
Yeah.
then lo and behold, look at me now. I'm doing a podcast with you, and I'm absolutely loving it and enjoying every second of it. So had I not been willing to accept change, like, hey, maybe, try doing a podcast, see what happens,
Yeah.
Had I not been open to that, I wouldn't be your co-host,
Yeah.
And I would be missing out on an opportunity that I really love and enjoy. Same thing with my music. I would like, I can never be music. I can never, do that. I don't know how to produce. I don't know how to mix and master. Then I've never would have learned all those things.
Yeah.
So like, embracing change is embracing. People look at change as something different going to happen. I look at change as I'm about to improve in some kind of area.
Yeah.
So like, okay, with this change, what is going to improve? All right, this is going to improve.
For me personally, because I can't speak on behalf of the people,
Mm-hmm.
I used to think that holding on to the past was almost comforting. It was like a comforting feeling because it's something that's familiar. Like I hate the sense of uncertainty, the things that I cannot control. So now, over the years, as I've matured, I've learned to accept that it's okay to not have full control over those things.
That's so funny. I literally just said this to you last night.
Yeah. And it's like okay to not be able to control those things and to just let it play out, and what's meant for you is meant for you, and nobody can take that away from you. And that I've taken that to a level to a personal level, to our relationship, because I've truly found happiness in our relationship. And I've come to understand that the foundation that we've built, that's not something somebody can tear it down. So learning how to trust again, and learning to be more open, and learning to let my partner be himself and have fun and do what he loves, and just trusting and knowing that destiny has me covered, and that what's for me is for me, is letting me stay still and understand, like, yeah, I'm okay, I can rest. And
You better stop talking like this. There's a camera in front of us right now. Don't be talking to me like that.
But it's things I've learned if I haven't taken the chance. When I say take a chance, usually we always think about, moving from VA to Texas or switching your jobs. But no, just taking a chance can also simply mean changing the way you think, and changing the way you think, changing the way, you perceive yourself, who you are as a person. I'm going from an identity crisis to now being a proud Puerto Rican woman, to understanding that I don't need to hide those areas in my life because it makes me truly who I am, and then bringing that into the podcast is something that no one else can replicate because I can only do it because it's me. It's my own personal story. It's my own testimony. It's what I have to offer to the world. And I feel like I'm just paying forward. This is really what the podcast is for me. I'm paying forward.
Can I just say you are so sexy when you talk?
I don't know why I even got emotional about it, but
Did you look good when you do that, girl? Give me a kiss. Podcast kiss. Come on. Give it up. Podcast kiss.
Oh, my makeup's going to be ruined. But yeah, that's pretty much, I came to that realization when listening to the episode yesterday. I was like, wow, this is my way of paying forward to the community.
Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm. Got my heart.
I was not expecting to cry this episode.
You want to get married again? Got me all hot and bothered with that one.
Oh.
But no, yeah. I totally agree with what you're saying there. And I feel like like I said, we were kind of talking about this last night about finding your own little place of happiness in the world. I think everybody focuses too much on what makes other people happy. They look at on social media and they see this person has a yacht, or this person is going on trips, or this person can afford to do this and this and that. This person has a huge gaming collection, or this person has a huge arcade collection, or whatever. And everybody thinks if I do that, that'll make me happy. And then it never does.
No.
You have to find the thing in life that makes you happy. Find your own little happiness in this world and stop worrying about the things that you cannot control. Mm-hmm. Like the things that you cannot control or you can't control. So like, what are you going to do? If you can't control those things, then what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Focus on the things that you can change and can control, and use those things to be the things that push you forward into whatever direction you want to go. But focusing on things you cannot control only wastes time because you cannot control them.
Yeah.
So once you've made that choice that you want you want something different for your life, focus on the things you can control. And focus on creating your own little happy world for yourself.
Yeah.
Cut out your own little piece of the world and find your happiness in that. Like for me, it's my wife, it's my kids, it's gaming, it's music, it's, going out to eat, because we likes to eat.
Yeah.
So we've carved out our own little happy place in this world, and we do what we can to protect it and cover that.
Yeah.
So, that's my thing. Is just don't fuss over what you can't control. Focus on the things you can control, and just carving out a place for your own happiness.
Yeah.
And don't let anything take that away from you. It doesn't matter if it's friends, it doesn't matter if it's family. Like, you have to be happy for yourself. Because as I've told my friends several times, if you really want to be helpful to other people and you really want to do things for other people, you first have to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Because how can you help anybody if you're in ruins yourself?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, you can only control your own emotions and your own actions. Everything else, you got to leave it up to fate. Fate will play it out. Yep. And the podcast is really a self-reflection of who I was, who I am, and who I will become. Oh, yeah. Because we never stop growing, and to make it very clear, we don't have it all figured out. Like, I'm still working on areas that I'm like, these are my flaws. Like, I got to put so much work and so much effort into it. Mm-hmm. But like you said, at least we're acknowledging those things, and we're also taking the proper actions to become a better person and to turn those flaws slowly into our strengths. So I will say, if you are also in a journey, then guess what? We can all be in this journey together. I love joking. I love, chatting it up, talking bunch of nonsense like we've done in other episodes, but it's also really refreshing when we have episodes where we can sit down and have, a more serious discussion, because if anything, I'm just really proud of our growth, because it shows into the growth overall of the podcast.
Oh yeah. 100%.
And people are subscribing to it.
Yeah. And honestly, even if nobody did, I would still enjoy doing this. Like, I just like sitting down and having these conversations. And even if these conversations only help one or two people, we've helped somebody.
Yeah.
And that's all I can hope to do is, same thing with my music. I want to touch the people that want to be touched, So if my life and my living on this world, if it affects somebody, if it affects positive change for somebody, then my life had some kind of meaning,
Yeah.
That's where you find your meaning in it. Like, people try to find their meaning through material things, having the most money, having the biggest collection, having the fanciest car, having the biggest house, whatever the case may be. But those things will eventually decay and go away, and they will no longer exist. And what else would you have left on this earth? But if you touch somebody, if you change somebody's life, that person will remember you until the day that they die. And they'll pass your memories on to the next person, who will pass your memories on to the next person, who will pass your memories on to the next person, which means you can technically live forever.
Yeah.
People are looking for how to live forever. I think I found a way. Touch other people's lives.
Yeah.
Affect other people. Affect change in the world around you. And nobody will ever be able to forget you ever again. And in that way, you will live forever. So...
Whew.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, feels like a Sunday sermon. How do we always end up here?
I grew up in the church. That's
So,
my granddaddy coming at me, my dad. That's granddaddy. I miss you, granddaddy.
Whatever you seek to do, don't fall in the self-rejection pattern. Just go for it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Worst thing that like I've told you this several times before, when you were up like applying for new jobs or something
Yeah.
like that. I'm like, the worst thing that can happen is that they say no.
Just go for it.
That's the worst thing. The worst thing that, like, think about it. I think that's what people have the most issues is they have the fear of what will happen if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But you have to really think about what happens if something doesn't work, and then like, oh, is it really that bad? Like I said, if you're applying for jobs, apply for all of them. The worst thing that can happen is that they'll say no.
Yeah.
And you'll be right back in the same place you were before. But them saying no, it's not going to hurt you or destroy you or break you down or take anything away from you. So, like, if trying is free.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
That's the thing. That's the easiest way to put it. Is trying is free.
Yeah.
It literally costs you nothing to try. So why not?
Which is what we've done in our own ways. Me with the podcast, you with your music, even in other stuff, like in real life. Like we've matured and grown because we've decided to not hold back and make those proper steps. Take that chance to improve.
100%. And that's what makes life special. That's what makes life exciting. Those new experiences. Oh, I've gotten to this level now, so what do I get to experience here? Or
Yeah.
I've tried this, so what do I get to experience there? Like,
A perfect example of something that I wanted to bring up, and like you said, even if nobody read it, which I don't know because I haven't checked, but even if nobody had read it, I did something that I never thought I would have done before, and that was that years ago I used to homeschool my son. And while homeschooling, I was an advocate in Puerto Rico for homeschooling. So I would, host workshops. I would do live streams. I would, educate parents on how to start homeschooling and all the, legislation, everything they needed to know to run properly a homeschool. And you might think, like, where are you going with this? Well, during that process, I decided to write a book. And it took me many years. And the reason why was simply because I was hesitating. I was like, am I good enough? I've only been homeschooling my son for only a couple years. Like, am I truly prepared? Like, I don't know. Is it a good idea or not? So I was overthinking the whole idea of publishing this book. And then when I got with you, I go back through all of my work that I had saved, and I see my book. And I was like, you know what? It's been a minute. Let me just go for it. Let me publish my book. And it was my very first time. I didn't know what I was doing. I had to learn how to format it. It wasn't like I had a team that can go and, revise my drafts and tell me how to, self-publish a book. I had to teach myself to do all these things. But in the process, I was making a promise to myself of, why are you overthinking it? There's somebody that needs that information. There's somebody that's trying to homeschool their children, and you got what they need. So go out there and publish the book. And I published the book on Amazon, and it was a great feeling because I was like, wow, I finally did it. I self-published the book, and now anybody that needs help has access to a resource to make it easier on them. But, like I read from this article, if you don't think your article is good enough, or if I didn't think my book was good enough, publish it anyways.
Facts, 100%. It's like I'm saying, even if I didn't think my music was good enough, I still put it out there. I'm always gonna not be happy with the final product because that's just who I am. I'm always gonna want it to be perfect and flawless and just know everything is just where it is. But what I've learned is that you can't get to perfection without making mistakes, without having flaws. So that's all part of the journey. So with every project, I, try to get a little bit better. All right, so I listened to my last album. What was the flaw of that album? Okay, I didn't like the mix too much. All right, so next album, learn how to mix better. All right, what was the flaw with your album this time? All right, boom, this was the flaw with this album. All right, so next album, do that better. So every time I improve, get a little better, get a little better, get a little better, and I get towards that perfection that I'm looking for. But don't try to find perfection in every single thing that you do, Yeah. Enjoy the journey. People always want to get to the destination of, oh, it's perfect, absolutely perfect. But there's a journey that it takes to get there, and the journey is actually more important because without the journey, there is no path to the destination.
Yeah.
So I would say instead of focusing on the destination, focus on the journey. How do you get closer to that once? Man, this phrase keeps coming up for me for some reason. But if you don't take any steps forward, then how are you going to get closer to your destination?
Yeah.
If your goal is 20 steps away and you make one step a day, it'll take you 20 days. But you'll get there.
Yeah. You'll get there eventually.
If you could take 2 steps a day, it'll take you 10 days.
Yeah.
You get there a little faster. But as long as you're making at least one step towards that destination, you're closer than you were the day before. So as long as you're moving forward, eventually you're going to get there. If you're at A and you're trying to get to B, as long as you're moving towards A, you're always going to be closer than you were before.
Amen.
So eventually you'll get to A.
Amen.
So
Oof.
it just makes sense. If you're walking in a straight line, the only way to get to the other end of that straight line is to keep walking.
So yeah, guys, that about wraps it up about just taking a chance. So comment below once again, what is something you have to do, even in 2025, that you have to take a chance and you're gonna go for it. I want to celebrate with you. I want to encourage you to do it. We're gonna be your cheerleaders. How about that?
Yeah.
You're gonna put it out there in the universe.
Fans, y'all the man.
Yeah.
If y'all can't do it, no one can.
And as a friendly reminder, don't forget to drop those ratings, those reviews. It truly helps. And I appreciate you just taking the time to listen to this podcast. You could have been doing anything in the world.
Anything.
Yet you chose to tune in and listen to us.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you.
Thanks. It's really nice of you, actually. It's pretty cool.
It's really nice.
You're pretty cool guys.
I like you. You should
And
be part of our
girls.
club.
Yeah.
As always, guys, I want to remind you,
2.
always reset
And
zap
for the what?
for the week.
Oh, snap.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.